free agitating Linux so much in the internet, that I already hate it.
Statement number 1. Linux is more safe. It is a false statement and I will show you why. Reason why is that virus writers do not target Linux because it has a low market share, near 2.5%. But there is still a plenty of them. See for example Linux, RSDB, or Troj, SRV and JarKA.
If you're willing to pay for VirusTotal's private API, you can search for and download Linux malware from there. You can also sign up for VirusShare and download the archive, which has 2,778 ELF samples.
Android is a mobile operating system developed by Google, based on the Linux kernel and designed primarily for touchscreen mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets. Has the majority of the market share. And here comes the ghost. Best known malicious program is Ghost Push. This is kind of malware which infects the Android OS by automatically gaining root access, download malicious software, convert to system app and then losing root access, which virtually impossible to remove the infection by factory reset unless the firmware is reflashed. The malware hogs all system resources, making it unresponsive and drains the battery. The advertisements always appeared anytime, either full screen, part of a display, or in status bar. The unnecessary apps is automatically activates and sometimes downloads another malicious software when connected to the internet. It is harder to detect and remove. It steals personal data of the user by the phone.
Must pay tribute to the developer of that.
Statement number 2. Linux is more powerful.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know, but I assume it claims domination of performance.
Performance in what?
I don't know. But Windows 10 installed on Git partition table with BIOS based on UEFI and with fast boot turned on, boots faster than many, if not any, well-known Linux distros, and it is my own experience. Average FPS, for the same game available for both platforms, is twice as much on Windows 8.1 than on Ubuntu 15.10. Windows has a lot richer API. Application Programming Interface, API, is a set of subroutine definitions, protocols, and tools for building software and applications. A good API makes it easier to develop a program by providing all the building blocks, which are then put together by the programmer, and that's why, in my opinion, it is much easier to develop games for Windows rather than for Linux distros. Windows is better supported by the huge well-financed Microsoft Corporation. Windows is most innovative PC OS, and it is much modern.
Windows 10 supports Universal Windows Platform, UWP, is a platform homogeneous application architecture created by Microsoft and first introduced in Windows 10. The purpose of this software platform is to help develop universal apps that run on both Windows 10 and Windows 10 Mobile without the need to be rewritten for each. It has many handsome apps like Edge Browser, Photos, Groove Music, Mail etc. Windows 10 has much better GUI. Graphical User Interface, GUI, is a type of user interface that allows users to interact with electronic devices through graphical icons and visual indicators such as secondary notation, instead of text-based user interfaces, typed command labels or text navigation. Windows 10 has Ubuntu. Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL, is a compatibility layer for running Linux binary executables, in ELF format, natively on Windows 10. Microsoft and Canonical partnered together to enable a genuine Ubuntu 14.04 TrustEtar image to be downloaded and extracted to the user's local machine, and for the tools and utilities contained within that images to run natively on top of the WSL. WSL provides a Linux-compatible kernel interface developed by Microsoft, containing no Linux kernel code, with user mode binaries from Ubuntu running on top of it.
Statement number 3. Linux is more stable.
Laughing out very loud. Here bugs in Ubuntu 16.04 and Linux Mint 18, or in the applications that are part of a default installation of Ubuntu and Linux Mint. Can't boot from installed DVD, processor without P support. Computer won't boot after installation of Ubuntu or Mint. Computer boots straight into Windows 8.x or 10, after dual boot install. The installation of Ubuntu or Mint can't be finished, it fails halfway. Swap use, swappiness, is too high, Ubuntu or Mint is too slow and uses the hard disk too much. The screen resolution is not right, after installation of the restricted proprietary driver for some NVIDIA graphics cards. The tools for updating or installing software malfunction. Reboot fails. Hibernate and suspend don't always work well, they make some computers malfunction or even enter a coma. Some laptops, hard disk constantly clicks and spins up and down. Wireless internet is sometimes being blocked by Bluetooth. Large PDF documents can't be printed entirely. Adobe Flash Player, wrong colors, blue, pink or purple, or browser crash. Can't install Adobe Flash Player. The size of the log files in /var/log gets out of hand. Booting takes a very long time. Weak graphics. And that is not complete list of well-known bugs in well-known distros.
Yeah, I know how buggy it can get. In my opinion, Windows since Windows 7 has no bugs at all compared to Linux distros. Statement number 5. Linux is for hackers. Hacker, based on Wikipedia, is any highly skilled computer expert. So there is no OS for hackers. There is HackOS for OS.
Great. Brilliant.
People,
please stop agitating your OS
by talking shit about something that is not yours.
Just because it's not yours, and because of your moral principles
driven by the idea of a free OS.
While poor starving children die, just because nobody claims that food has to be free.
So why then PCOS has to be?